The courier crate landed in the HFY Bounty Guild receiving bay with no warning and no return address. Inspector Tarn watched as the bay officers cracked the seals. Inside, nested in packing foam, lay a matte black helmet, visor shattered.
That's Veresk's helm.
The bay went silent. Vresk had 847 confirmed contracts. The helmet meant something unthinkable.
Get me the guild master, now.
Within minutes, the guild command center was in chaos. Screens flickered with Vresk's last known coordinates, a small farm on Earth. He unfolded the note. The handwriting was human, neat. He woke me at 4:30. We talked. He's not a bad person. He's having dinner with my wife Linda and our grandkids tonight. The rest of the note made even less sense. We'll send him home next week. Joe.
Send a team. Immediately. I want to know what happened down there.
The investigation shuttle launched within the hour, its course set for a quiet soybean farm in Nebraska. The Guild had never faced a debrief like this. 3 weeks earlier, the Guild posted a new contract. The target was human. Joseph Hansen, with a price no one had ever seen. 12 million credits, dead or alive. The file listed him as a retired Terran Special Forces operator, age 64, currently farming soybeans in Nebraska.
12 million. For a farmer. The Syndicate must really want this one.
Vresk pulled the full dossier. It was thin. A few old military commendations. No current threat markers.
40 years since his last combat. The human is practically retired.
Vresk pressed the acceptance rune. The contract locked to his identity.
I'll take care of it personally. Prepare my ship.
The guild dispatcher logged the acceptance. Vreskik, 847 kills. Now, added a farmer to his list.
He couldn't remember the last time a target was so undefended.
Within the hour, his ship was loaded and his course set for Earth. The most dangerous hunter in the galaxy was heading to a soybean farm. Vresk sat in the cramped cockpit of the Nightfang, his armor locked into the pilot's cradle.
An easy job. A few hours in the dirt, then back before the next bounty cycle.
He pulled up Hansen's file, one last time on the nav screen, scrolling past the old service photo.
Special Forces, 40 years ago. His reflexes are probably dust by now.
The ship dropped into Earth's atmosphere, flames licking the viewport, then steadied over a patchwork of green and brown. Below, the land was impossibly flat, divided into precise squares. No anti-aircraft batteries, no defense grid.
This world is so soft. No wonder they need bounty hunters from the Corps.
He set the autopilot to follow the coordinates. The ship whispering over endless rows of sprouting soybeans.
The target will be asleep. One shot, and then I'm gone.
The farmhouse appeared on the scanner, a warm dot in the pre-dawn dark. Vresk tightened his grip on the yoke, ready to end this trivial hunt. At 4:30 a.m., the Nightfang descended silently into the wheat field, cloaking field shimmering as it touched down. The landing gear barely disturbed the soil. No alarms, no lights. The farm seemed asleep. Vresk disembarked, plasma rifle ready. His helmet HUD painted the world in cold infrared. A single heat signature upstairs.
There, upstairs, a slow heartbeat, deep sleep. This will be over in moments.
He moved across the yard, each step silent on the gravel. Years of practice making him a ghost. The back door was unlocked. It swung inward without a sound. Inside, the kitchen was dark, but it smelled of fresh coffee. A pot sat on the counter, still warm.
You are early.
Vresk froze in the doorway, one hand still on the latch, his rifle half raised. He had never heard a target speak before he made himself known. The hunt had turned itself inside out. 3 weeks later, the investigation shuttle broke through the morning clouds over the Hansen farm.
Set us down near the wreckage. Standard containment, but I want a full sweep.
The shuttle touched down 100 meters from the crash site. Smoke still curled from the breached engines. Vresk's ship was nose first in the soil, hull split but no fire. The landing had been controlled. A deliberate crash. Tarn's team fanned out, weapons ready. The ship's hatch hung open. Inside, the cockpit was empty. No blood, no signs of a struggle. The pilot had left willingly.
No signs of forced entry. Someone left this ship intact on purpose.
The wheat around the ship was flattened in a precise circle, but there were no tracks leading away.
Grid search. Every centimeter of this field. Find me anything that doesn't belong.
The team spread out, scanners humming. The sun climbed higher over the quiet farmhouse. It was going to be a long day. One of the officers called out from beside the ship's landing strut. They had found something. Vresk's weapons were stacked neatly, almost respectfully, on a folded tarpaulin. His plasma rifle, his blade, his grenades.
His weapons. He never leaves his gear. This was a surrender, not a fight.
Beside the weapons sat a silver thermos and a folded piece of paper, held down by a rock. The note read, "He woke me at 4:30. We talked. He's not a bad person. He's having dinner with my wife, Linda, and our grandkids tonight."
The same note we received at the guild. This was left deliberately. A message. The human is sending a sign. He's not a threat. He's extending an invitation.
A shout came from inside the ship. An officer had found a strange device. A human cassette player on the pilot's seat.
A cassette? Bring it outside. Let's hear what else our farmer left for us.
The team gathered around the device as the morning sun finally broke over the horizon. A new chapter of this mystery was about to play. An officer connected the cassette player to a portable speaker. The device hummed, ancient gears turning.
Play it.
The button clicked down. The tape hissed. Then a human voice filled the air, calm and unhurried.
My name is Joe Hansen. If you are hearing this, you found my farm. I imagine you've got a lot of questions. You are looking for Veresk. I know that. He's here, and he's safe.
He knows. Of course, he knows. This isn't a recording for us. It's a message he wanted us to find.
We talked. For a good long while, actually. He's not what you think he is.
The tape crackled softly, each word settling over the team like a blanket. They had never heard a target speak so gently.
I think the best thing would be if you listen to what happened. Then decide for yourselves.
Keep it running. I want every word of this.
It was about 4:30 in the morning. I was sitting at the kitchen table, finishing my first cup. I'd tracked his ship the moment it entered atmosphere. When he came through that door, rifle ready, I could see he was a professional. But professionals are predictable.
On the tape, Joe's voice held a faint smile, as if recalling a fond memory rather than a near-death experience.
I said, "You are early." He froze. I'd been in that spot myself 100 times. When a target doesn't run, it throws you.
Impossible. How did he know? His name wasn't even on the guild's alert system.
I told him I'd been expecting him. I even poured him a cup of coffee.
In the recording, Varesk's silence was deafening. The tape captured only the sound of the coffee maker and the hunter's slow, ragged breath.
He looked at me like I was a puzzle he couldn't solve, so I just kept talking. It's hard to shoot a man who's offering you a warm drink.
This human is either insane or far more dangerous than any file suggested.
Joe described how the rifle barrel dipped, inch by inch, until it pointed at the floor. The hunter was listening.
I filled a mug and slid it across the table. He stared at it like I'd handed him a live grenade.
On the tape, the sound of ceramic scraping wood was followed by a long, tense silence.
No target has ever offered me a drink. This is either a trap or he is truly broken.
I told him he looked like he'd come a long way. He just nodded. Then he did something I didn't expect.
Joe paused the tape to let the moment breathe. The guild team leaned closer, breaths held.
I have traveled far. You are the first who did not run. Why?
I told him I'd been in worse spots. Then I asked what the guild was paying. He said 12 million.
He laughed, as if 12 million credits was a bar joke, not a death warrant.
I told him I'd have done it for half that. He almost smiled. That's when I knew we were going to talk.
The tape crackled, and for a moment, the only sound was the shared, absurd silence of two professionals, each weighing the other. Joe set down his mug and leaned forward. The kitchen fell silent, save for the tape recorder's soft whir.
I've got one question for you, son. Do you actually know why you are here? Or were you just sent?
On the tape, Vresk's breath caught, a sharp intake that cut through the static. The guild officers in the shuttle exchanged uneasy glances.
Just sent. The words hit like a physical blow. No one had ever asked him that before.
In my experience, men like you don't take contracts on old farmers out of choice, so I am guessing you never had one.
A long silence filled the kitchen, then a sound like armor plates shifting, Vresk's frills flattening in defeat.
You are correct. I was not given a choice. Ever.
Tarn's claw tightened on the datapad. The implications of that statement rippled through the shuttle like a shockwave.
That's what I thought. Now, why don't you tell me about it? I've got time.
The tape hissed. In the kitchen, a hunter faced a truth he'd never spoken aloud. The next words would change everything. The tape recorder whirred, and Vresk's voice emerged, deeper than before, raw and hoarse.
I was taken from my clutch before I could walk. They put a knife in my claw when I was 3 cycles old.
Images of a brutal facility flashed through his words. Children trained to kill, stripped of names, given only numbers.
They told me the guild was my family, that the hunt was my purpose. I believed them. I had nothing else. I hate it. Every cycle. But it is all I know. I am nothing but a weapon.
Joe's expression on the tape didn't change, but his voice held 40 years of recognition.
I spent my life in Black Ops. I've seen programs like yours, Vresk, disposable soldiers for the syndicates. You are not alone.
In the shuttle, Tarn's frills went rigid. The contract wasn't a bounty. It was a syndicate asset disposal, using Vresk as the trigger.
He understands. After all this time, someone finally understands.
You deserve a choice, son. Maybe for the first time. Stay here, rest, and then decide what you want.
Joe's voice softened on the tape, dipping into a dark well of old memories.
There was a mission back in the Outer Rims. A warlord was running a child soldier program. We infiltrated at dawn. In the barracks, I saw a little boy, not 8 cycles old, clutching a rifle like a doll. Same hollow eyes you've got. I got 23 children out that night. But this galaxy is full of kids like you, and I recognize the look. You didn't choose any of this.
In the shuttle, Tarn's frills quivered. The hunter was speaking of himself, and the guild had been complicit.
Joe, for heaven's sake, stop talking shop and tell the man he's invited to breakfast. I've got eggs, bacon, and my famous biscuits.
The tape caught the creak of the stairs. Linda, in her robe, peering in from the doorway.
You are staying. No arguments. Breakfast is in 20 minutes.
I will stay. For breakfast.
The kitchen filled with the clatter of pans, the sizzle of food, and a sound Vresk had never known. Belonging. The tape clicked to silence. In the shuttle, no one moved, the weight of the recording pressing against the bulkheads.
Trace the contract's funding. Now, I want every transaction, every shell company, every back-channel cutout.
The shuttle's data array lit up as a forensic dive ripped through the financial layers. One by one, ghost accounts unraveled. The funding source was a syndicate known as the Vex X Combine, notorious for running orphan conscription pipelines.
They used one of our own as a disposable trigger, and we gave them the contract. Transmit the evidence to Guild Command, Priority Channel, Add my recommendation. Void the contract immediately.
The data packet shot through subspace, carrying the taped confession, the financial trace, and a damning internal report.
If the masters suppress this, we become the very syndicate we pretend to police.
The investigation team gathered their equipment in silence, the rustle of gear the only sound. Outside, the farmhouse sat quiet, smoke curling from its chimney. Somewhere inside, a hunter was learning to be something more. In the guild's council chamber, the evidence packet bloomed across a dozen holographic screens, each master's face a mask of calculation.
Vresk was used. The contract was a syndicate cleanup. Void it now, or we are no better than the criminals.
Before the vote could be called, the central holotank flared without warning, overriding the chamber's security. The image of Vexex, a small rodent-like figure in a sleek suit, flickered into view, a predator's smile on his whiskered face.
Honored masters, I hear you've found some irregularities. How unfortunate. Complete the contract. Eliminate the loose ends. I've already sent a cleanup crew. They arrive tonight.
The hologram dissolved, leaving the chamber in stunned silence. A hit squad was already en route to Earth.
Dispatch a defense fleet. We cannot let this happen.
But the masters wavered. Political calculations and fear of syndicate exposure paralyzed the vote. On Earth, the sun was setting, painting the wheat fields gold. The farmhouse had no idea what was coming. For 3 weeks, Vresk had learned the rhythms of the farm. He could almost drive the tractor without stalling. He wore borrowed overalls and a wide straw hat, his tail curled awkwardly around the seat. The grandkids thought he was the best new thing.
You are getting the hang of it, son. Linda says if you can drive a tractor, you can do anything.
Late one afternoon, Joe walked the fence line alone, scanning the sky from long habit. A faint glint made him stop dead. He tracked the object for 3 seconds, his old instincts screaming. It was no bird, no weather satellite, a syndicate reconnaissance probe. They always sent one before a strike. Joe's jaw tightened. He walked back to the barn with measured steps, not wanting to alarm Linda. Vresk looked up from the hay bale he was stacking.
We've got company. Syndicate. I spotted a probe in the north field.
They will come at night. You have a plan?
Joe nodded once. We'll be ready. The farm was about to become something else entirely. Joe walked to the cellar, pulling the chain on a single bulb. He lifted a dusty black rotary phone from a shelf.
It's me. I need a favor. A data packet on the Vex Combine. To be released if I don't check in.
The voice on the other end was silent for a beat, then a soft confirmation. Joe hung up. Vresk descended the stairs, his heavy frame making the wood groan.
He has contingencies. I never imagined. This human's true profession was not farming.
Joe turned. No words passed between them, but a look of shared understanding settled the air. Later, in the barn, Joe dragged a locked footlocker from under a workbench. He opened it with a key around his neck. Inside lay his old gear, a custom rifle, sleek and well-maintained, and enough ammunition to start a small war.
This was my service rifle. Take it. Welcome to the team, partner.
I will not fail you.
At midnight, a stealth ship hovered silent over the barn. 3 black-clad syndicate enforcers rappelled into the yard. From an upstairs window, Joe sighted down his rifle. The first enforcer had no warning. 1 shot. 1 clean hit. The enforcer crumpled into the dust. Vreskik exploded from the barn shadows, a pitchfork in 1 claw and a hydraulic shear in the other.
The old man is still a predator. We are in perfect sync.
The remaining enforcers turned, but Vresk was already among them. A whirlwind of scale and steel. Within 2 minutes, the squad was down. Weapons scattered in the moonlight. Joe stepped onto the porch, rifle still in hand. Vresk stood panting among the fallen. Then, a new sound. Engines. A guild shuttle broke the clouds, hovering like judgment. The two fighters exchanged a glance. Was it rescue or clean up? Inspector Tarn descended the shuttle ramp, his frills low, a data slate clutched in his claw.
By order of the Guild Masters, the contract on Joseph Hansen is voided and all future human contracts are permanently banned. Resk's record is expunged. He is granted full asylum on Earth, effective immediately. The Guild extends its formal apology for this incident. You were not a target. You were a victim of syndicate corruption.
Apology accepted, Inspector. Coffee's still hot, if you've got a minute.
Tarn's frills flickered, a Crèche blush. He declined, but his posture radiated grudging respect. As the guild shuttle lifted off, a data burst confirmed the contract's void across the network, a red stamp sealing the ban. The shuttle vanished into the morning sky. For the first time in weeks, the farm was truly quiet.
I figured you boys earned dessert. Fresh apple pie, still warm.
Vresk held the pie as if it were fragile. For the first time in his life, he was no longer a weapon. Weeks turned to months. Vresk's claws, once instruments of death, now tucked the grandkids into bed and turned the pages of picture books. He became a gentle giant at the farmer's market, known simply as that foreign gentleman who helps Mr. Hansen. Linda taught him to bake. His deadly claws now crimped pie crusts with a precision that surprised even her.
This kitchen holds more warmth than any battlefield I ever conquered.
One summer evening, after the chores were done, Joe found Vresk on the porch, staring at the fireflies over the wheat.
Joe, I never knew life could feel like this.
Like what, son?
Quiet. Safe. Like a sunrise after the longest night.
That's the whole point, Veresk. You were never a weapon. You were a soul waiting for someone to see it.
The fireflies danced around them. From the kitchen, Linda's voice called them in for peach cobbler. The night smelled of earth and peace. A year later, Vrask's reputation had become legend. He no longer hunted for credits, only for those who could not protect themselves. On a dusty colony world, he stood between a settler family and a raider gang, his plasma rifle raised.
I am not a bounty hunter. I am a guardian.
The raiders fled. The news spread through the Outer Rim. A dark dragon with a farmer's heart protected the weak. Back at the guild, a database terminal glowed in the quiet of the night. All human contracts were permanently flagged. No operations. A footnote read, "Refer to Earth incident." The Vex Combine had been dismantled, its leaders imprisoned by internal investigations. No syndicate dared target Earth again. The farmer and his alien son were untouchable. Vresk had become the most feared retired bounty hunter in the galaxy because he fought for peace. And back on the farm, Joe Hansen just grew his soybeans, content that the galaxy had finally learned its lesson. That evening, the sunset painted the wheat fields in amber and rose. 2 chairs sat on the porch, one a rocker, one a reinforced bench.
Joe, all this time, I have wondered one thing. Do you ever regret not pulling the trigger that night?
Son, some people aren't meant to be killed. Some are meant to be saved. You were always one of them.
A long pause stretched between them, filled only by the distant hum of evening crickets.
Thank you.
Joe simply nodded, his eyes on the horizon. The silence that followed was comfortable, a shared peace earned through fire and forgiveness. The first stars blinked into existence, faint diamonds in the violet sky. A shooting star arced across the heavens, a brief silver trail before it vanished.
Even the stars celebrate second chances.
The two sat in easy quiet. As the night deepened, the farmhouse glowing warm behind them like a promise. From the porch, the camera found Vresk's old helmet, no longer a trophy of war. It hung from the porch rail, matte black now softened by time, its cracked visor removed. Inside the shell, rich dark soil cradled yellow daisies, blooming toward the last light. A single butterfly, pale blue and delicate, settled on the rim, wings folding once. In the background, the farmhouse windows glowed like lanterns, smoke curling from the chimney. The sky deepened to violet, the first stars pricking through the velvet curtain of night. The wheat fields lay still, the scars of the crashed ship healed over by time and new growth. On the breeze, the scent of Linda's garden mingled with the sweet perfume of the daisies. Sometimes the most dangerous weapon in the universe is simply kindness. The farm settled into the dark, holding its peace. And the helmet, full of flowers, stood guard over it all.